Hi there! Alright, I just wanted to show you my latest plane. It's this small jointer. It's just a little bit larger than a Stanley number 6. I think by an inch or so, simply because I had the steel to make it a little bit longer. And it was tempting to make it slightly bigger than the Stanley version. So why do I talk about the Stanley version? This is an infill plane. It's simply because I was raised on Stanley Bailey pattern planes. So I'll just get my number 6. Yeah, I hope you can see this. This one is just slightly shorter than my version. Well, by an inch or so. But the position of the handles and so the overall proportions are very similar to the Stanley version. Alright, so what I'm going to do is in a minute I'll demonstrate that it actually works. I've already produced a bunch of shavings here. This is iron from Standard Beach that I had lying around. I just want to show you some of the design features. So my larger goal is to produce a whole series of small to massively big smoothing planes, or bench planes actually, sorry. So this is a number 1 size plane. So this has the size of standard number 1 size, made last year. This plane I made a couple of years ago, number 2 size. So there you go. So you see 1, 2 and 6 done. I want to add at least a number 3, a 4.5 and 8 plus, really, just a little bit bigger than Stanley's number 8. I really like my number 8 sized Stanley plane. It's massive. I love using it, so I definitely want to produce my own version. Okay, so let's just get these out of the way. It's a little bit bigger. I always really dislike these videos where someone's going to demonstrate you know, how to use a plane or a certain tool, and then they go on and talk for 15 minutes about something that is can be demonstrated in like 15 seconds. Very much like I'm doing now. So let's just get this out of the way and you know, produce a few shades. These are nice and thin. Yeah. It's actually a pretty substantial plane. It weighs 4.5 kilograms. Which makes it very nice to use on a piece of wood like this. Okay, so the design features. Let me start by showing the absence of dovetails. So on the smaller planes, these, you know, I attach the size of the sole of the plane using double splayed dovetails. Not so in this case. I used taper pins. So these are small mild steel pins that are tapered. You drill a bunch of holes. Line everything up. You can even use a reamer to make the hole itself slightly tapered. I tried this, didn't find it necessary, so I skipped it. And then you use a hammer, you insert these pins. Works very well. Why did I do this? Because A, it's very much faster than using the dovetails, and I'm an amateur. You know, I don't have the time, I don't have the patience, or ever want to put it to produce this many dovetails in steel. This is steel and brass, obviously. I do everything by hand. You know, I have a small metal lathe that I use to make knobs like this, but the rest is all drilling, filing, sawing, lots of handiwork. And I didn't want to spend like a full week to make the dovetails. There you go. So, and for me, what makes a plane like this exciting is not so much the fact that we have dovetails here, right? Of course, I mean, those dovetails are very nice. I guess I like them, but for me the attraction is much more making a nice shape, making sure everything works, using, in this case, ebony, which is a species I've never used before. I find it very exciting to work with ebony. You know, that is for me what makes building a plane like this attractive, not so much to cut the dovetails. Done that, been there. You know, maybe the next plane will have dovetails, but this one has taper pins, and I like it a lot because they're not so clearly visible. It's a nice regular pattern of these small dots. Yeah, I kind of like it. You know, a plane like this is about more than just the dovetails. All right, so I already mentioned the ebony infills. So this is all ebony. Wow, it was not very cheap. But it was worth every penny, I think. I was actually surprised how easy it is to work this particular species of wood. I thought that was going to be very, very difficult. Of course, it's very dense, but the grain was okay. and generally I really enjoyed working with it. And I finished this with the shellac. I actually finished this with CA or super glue, the knob. The rest I finished this with polished shellac that I polished to a high gloss. And I think it's beautiful. You can see, you probably won't see this in the little video, but there's some brown streaks here, and it's just, yeah. I used to prefer. I used to think that rosewood was my favourite species of wood. It was, but I think now I've come to like ebony even more than I did rosewood. Beautiful species of wood, very exciting. All right, so as you can see, this is also a little bit curved. So there's a few things that are different from what I've seen on other infill planes. So this is not. So most of these infills here will be straight across, right? So mine is a little bit. Has a small curvature to it, just to make this a little bit more pleasant to the touch and not so boring when you see the reflection. It's not flat. This is actually rounded a little bit, and so is this. So you get these nice reflections, especially with the high gloss polish. Also, the handle. Usually it ends in a sort of a straight line here, perpendicular to the infill. Mine is yep. That's this nice little how do you put this? Sort of a backside at the end. Yeah, which I very much like. I already mentioned this knob. So it's I don't like. So again, coming back to the Cindy planes, I really like a knob like this instead of a more traditional bun shape thing here, because it's round and I like round stuff. I guess that also really is reflected here and here. I like it to be round because it's just easier to grab. For me, I don't sell anything, so nobody else has to like it. That's just my preference. Alright, stainless steel sole, because 6mm thick to make it nice and heavy. Because I don't use these planes so much, because I have a Stanley series about what I use these planes, I always get very paranoid about rust. You know, planes that you use don't really rust because the rust has no time to build up. This just sits in my living room. A small scratch up. So I get paranoid about rust. So I want to use the stainless steel sole on this particular plane. Difficult to work, but in the end I figured out how to deal with this material. The iron is D2 steel, or 2379 in the European system. It's a high carbon steel. I guess it's pretty much stainless. I do the heat treatment myself. I have a small oven. Essentially, I do everything myself, and just because I want to keep I want to keep full control of the thing I build. So there you have it. And I think it's fitting that a plane this size, it's a tough plane, it's big, it's 4.5 kilograms. It needs a big, massive iron, so it's 4mm thick. And I like the idea of the high chromium content in this particular type of steel. I know it's very difficult to sharpen and etc. You can also use different types of steel. This is what I chose for this particular plane. You can probably see the interesting shape. So this is a snacked iron, right? It's snacked. And why is it snacked? Because let me just get the small hammer. It makes it a little bit easier to retract the iron. So if you want to reduce the depth of the iron, you just tap it, and that reduces the depth. Of course, on a plane like this, with no hammer, even a wooden one, would I start tapping the heel of the plane to reduce the depth of the iron? And I didn't want to make an adjustment. I tried it in the past, and I was not very happy with the end result. It takes a little time. It also, you get more clutter. I wanted to keep clean lines, so no adjustment in this case, but a snacked iron. I tried it before on a different plane, and I like it, so maybe I'll be doing more of these. The knob, so this thing here, in the past I used to use a normal thread, symmetric one. This is square threading, or I think it's not quite square, but it's the trapezoidal system, I guess, a trapezoidal thread. I'm not really sure what the right word is here. That you see on things like Norris planes as well. Someone told me the thread might last longer. I guess they're right, they probably are. Engineers are very clever. But in this case, I just think it looks nice, which is I find very, very important on the plane, especially one that doesn't get used anyway. So why would you worry about things like wear? Whereas for me, plane like this is mostly about looks. Of course, everything is fully functional, but again, it won't get used much. So there you have it. This is my plane. I already showed you some shavings right at the start of the video. Yeah, my shavings, hand polish finish. There you go. I think it's time to make a new plane. Not sure which one's going to be, either number 3 sized, or number 8 sized, or 4.5. I think I'll do another project before I start another plane. So I started this plane during my Christmas break last year, 2014. It's late October 2015 now, so it takes me close to a year to finish something like this. Also because I do other projects, so I just made a small jewellery box for my wife in the meantime. But as everything is done by hand, and I keep on challenging myself to make something like this, progress is very slow. So, for example, the finish on this knob here, I had to apply 4 times, so 4 full finishes. The first time I used shellac, several coats of shellac, tried to polish it, didn't work, so I tried it again, removed the finish, again, multiple layers of shellac, tried to polish it, didn't finish, didn't work, so I tried CA glue over the shellac. Of course, that's stupid. It was almost okay, so I removed the whole finish. Then I googled how to apply CA glue, I tried it out on the knob, polished it, and now it's okay. It's actually not quite perfect, but it's good enough. So, I take my time when building something like this, because I'm an amateur, and I have